don't need perfect grammar. You need real conversation. One sentence a day can improve your English speaking practice. My name is Catherine.
I am James, and this is English Podcast Rise. Today's episode is all about how to improve your English speaking skills fast, especially through English speaking practice, listening to real conversations, and using the right kind of English learning podcast.
Challenge yourself before we start. Write one simple sentence in English to introduce yourself. Let's see where your level is today.
Let's get started with today's real conversation. You know, all English learners ask similar questions. How do I speak fluently? How much time does it really take? Should I focus on grammar or listening? And maybe the biggest one, can I improve just by listening to podcasts? Let's talk about that.
Honesty, I always say the same thing. Start listening. That's how I began. I found a few English podcasts for beginners, and I listened every day. Even when I didn't understand every word, I kept going. It became part of my routine.
Right. And it's that habit, that daily English listening and speaking practice, that really builds fluency. Many English learners focus too much on grammar, but in reality, fluency comes from real conversations, like this one.
Exactly. And you don't need to understand 100%. If you catch the meaning, your brain is already working. English conversation practice is about feeling the rhythm, hearing how people express ideas, not translating word by word.
Do you remember the first English podcast you listened to?
I do. It was a spoken English learning video on YouTube, very basic, very slow. Two people talking about their daily routine. I repeated after them. That was my daily English conversation practice, and I loved it.
I had the same experience. I used podcasts for English speaking practice during my lunch break, just listening to small talk about food, travel, daily life. It felt simple, but over time, it gave me confidence.
You know, that's one of the best things about podcasts. They fit so naturally into your daily routine. You don't need to sit at a desk or open a textbook. Just put on your headphones while cooking, walking, or even before you fall asleep.
Exactly. Learning English doesn't have to feel like studying. It can be part of your life. I always tell beginners, if you listen and speak just 20 to 30 minutes a day, your progress after 2 months will surprise you.
Yes. People often ask, how long does it take to learn English? And of course, it depends. But if you build a routine, just like you do with breakfast or exercise, you can see amazing improvement in 2 months.
Especially if you combine listening and speaking. That's what we focus on here at English Podcast Rise. We give you real conversations, clear pronunciation, and topics that matter to your daily life.
And the best part? You're not just listening passively. After each episode, we encourage you to speak out loud, repeat the sentences, and even write in the comments what you learned or how you would use the phrases.
Exactly. A lot of people underestimate how powerful that is. Just repeating 1 or 2 key phrases, then using them in your own sentence. It makes the language part of your thinking. You stop translating and you start speaking.
That's the goal, right? To make English feel natural. And one of the best ways to do that is by using your daily routine as practice.
Totally agree. I always say, you don't need extra time to learn English. You just need to use the time you already have. Your routine is your classroom.
Yes. For example, when I'm getting ready in the morning, I talk to myself in English. I'll say, I'm brushing my teeth. Now I'm making coffee. It's a little cold today. Just simple phrases, but over time, they build your speaking confidence.
That's smart. I used to do the same thing when I was learning. I'd describe my actions or even my thoughts, like, I have a meeting at 10. I hope it goes well. I need to send 2 emails after lunch. You're thinking in English without even realizing it.
And because it's part of your daily life, it doesn't feel like studying. You're just living in English. And that's what we want learners to feel with English Podcast Rise, that they're living the language, not memorizing it.
Exactly. And here's something interesting. Most learners don't need hours and hours every day. If you spend just 20 to 30 minutes a day, combining listening, repeating, and speaking about your routine, you'll see real results.
I agree. I've seen it happen so many times. A student starts by listening to one episode every morning, then writing one comment a day, and speaking for 5 minutes about their plans. 2 months later, they're using full sentences confidently.
And not perfect grammar, but clear, real communication. That's the win.
So, here's a challenge for our listeners. After today's episode, take 10 minutes to describe your daily routine out loud. In English, just talk to yourself. Then write 1 or 2 sentences in the comments. Something like, I wake up at 7. I make tea and check my phone. Then I go to work by bus. It doesn't have to be long, just real.
And if you do this every day, even with small steps, you'll feel more confident speaking English in real situations, at work, while traveling, or even just chatting online. Let's show an example. One of the most useful things you can do in English is introduce yourself in English.
Great idea, because no matter where you are, in a class, on a trip, or even in a video call, being able to introduce yourself with confidence makes a big difference. So let's do it.
Hi, I'm James. I'm from the UK, originally from Manchester, but I've been living in London for the past 5 years. I work as a freelance content creator, and I also teach communication skills online. In my free time, I enjoy playing guitar, reading biographies, and going for long walks in the countryside. What about you? Can you tell me a bit about yourself?
Sure. My name's Catherine. I'm Canadian from a small town near Toronto. I moved to the city a few years ago for work. I'm a graphic designer, and I mostly design visual content for websites and social media platforms. I love working creatively, but outside of work, I also enjoy cooking, listening to music, and learning languages. Actually, that's one reason I'm so passionate about this podcast, helping people feel more comfortable expressing themselves in English. What do you enjoy most about your work?
That's awesome. What I enjoy most is helping people find their voice, literally. Whether it's improving how they speak or building confidence in English, I love watching someone go from, I'm afraid to speak, to, I can say what I think now. It's also great to work online because I get to meet people from all over the world. It's like traveling without leaving home. How about you? What's your favorite part of being a designer?
For me, it's the process of taking a simple idea and turning it into something visual that speaks to people. I also enjoy working with clients from different cultures. I've learned so much about communication and style, and because I love learning languages myself, I always try to design things that feel clear, human, and helpful, just like we do with this podcast.
That's all for today. Now it's your turn. Write 1 sentence in the comments to introduce yourself in English. Keep listening, keep speaking, and we'll see you in the next episode of English Podcast Rise.